What's up, man? How y'all doing? Hey, I haven't made a video in a minute. Of course, I've been in school, so you get busy with work. I've been busy doing things with the Black History Month program on campus, doing forums. I organized a forum. They did a good job. The information and the type of event we had was great. The attendance was very small, but that's just because I feel like on campus it's not really people's cup of tea yet. They're not really attracted to that type of information and that type of environment. It's just not as popular as it is other places. But for the people that always come, it's about the same amount of people, the same faces every time, and so it's really just a conversation amongst us on different topics. I'll go ahead and tell you the forums I did. I did one called Black Men Matter. I did a forum. What does Black History Month mean to you? I did a forum. I don't remember the name, but the topic was basically about just social aspects of the Black community. And my forum was called the N Word Insult to Insight. And I really think the one that was the most that was the most important was, what does Black History Month mean to you? Because that's a great question to ask today in 2016, because we're still looking at it, I think, from an African American History Month, not necessarily a Black History Month. One thing I said at that forum, I said, Malcolm X said, if you're an African American, your history can go back to 1619. But if you're a black man or black woman, your history goes back to the beginning of time. And taking a just looking at that quote, our history goes back further than just when we came to America. It goes further back to just, we go back further than when Jesus was around. We go back further than before the pyramids were built. We go back to everything. So essentially, we have to study a wider range of topics to get more participation, to grasp a bigger audience. If we want to see more participation from people, we have to start bringing information that people have never heard before. Because we're not going to come to essentially a Martin Luther King speech or Martin Luther King Appreciation Day and talk about the I Have a Dream speech every year. People are going to show up less and less every year because we're not giving anything new. So it's what have you done for me lately type of thing. You can apply that to this. And one thing I want to say is we have to start experimenting with how we dispense the education, how we dispense information to one another, and how we, give it to the students or our kids. Instead of looking at what the I Have a Dream speech says, let's look at what his thought process was leading to that speech. What events happened to make him feel this way? You know, what are some of the things that he was going through? We have to understand the backstory behind these main headlines. That's the most important thing. The road to his great speech, the road to that march. Um, and on another note, can we, and we talk about Martin Luther King for a second, can we talk about his life in the full context? Can we not stop at 63? Because a lot of things happened to him and happened in the world after 1963 and made him change his perspective on a few things. One thing that we don't talk about with Martin Luther King is how he met with Elijah Muhammad. And after his interactions and their conversation, he came to realize that, no matter if I'm nonviolent, if I'm violent, I'm still an enemy to, to the white people, to the racists. So you have to take a look at his speeches from 67 to 68. Take a look at his speeches after Malcolm X was killed. Take a look at the interviews he gave and how he how he changed his thought pattern. Not necessarily get along white and black, but let's fix the black problems first. Let's become strong as a black community first. If we're gonna talk about Martin Luther King, let's talk about everything. Let's talk about, and this is what I love about history. Let's dissect what he could have done differently in his life. Maybe the people around him wasn't such a good choice. Maybe some of his personal affairs that he was having wasn't such a good choice. Let's take his mistakes and use them for our benefit. Let's take what maybe Malcolm X might not have done, or what he shouldn't have done. Let's look at what Marcus Garvey might could have done better, or what he should have done this way or that way. Let's take history and experiment with it and dissect it and cut it up and see what we can get from it to build and progress each other. That's what's going to get Black History Month to go beyond the question of does it really matter anymore. That question is absurd to me. Because if we don't have Black history, you don't have anything. Everything that you study is based off something a black man gave you. An idea that began with a black man. So the question now goes into, what are we going to teach? So we have to, as teachers, I'm challenging people who are teachers, challenge your, what your resource base is. Don't just stick to, because you're Christian, don't just ignore the fact that Egypt is the base of your religion. If you're Muslim, don't just ignore the fact that you and Christianity share some of the same concepts. Don't let just your personal biases affect information, because no matter what your personal, affairs are, whatever you're indulged in, whether you believe in God, you don't believe in, whatever it is, I don't care. It has a black origin. Everything in existence has a black origin. I don't care if you're Christian, I don't care if you're Muslim, I don't care if you're Moor, I don't care if you're, a 5%er, I don't care if you're a Mason, I don't care about all of that. It began with a black person. That's the common thing I want to kind of bring forward. All this stuff, just bring it back to it being black. Stop cutting it up into this one school of thought. You can operate from multiple schools of thought. That's how you can conquer, and change people's ideals. A quote I want to leave with is, wisdom is the appropriate application of knowledge. And Dr. James Small said that. And I really like that, because to really be able to change something or influence something or have your greatest potential, put on this, whatever you're doing, whatever your work is, whatever your love is you have to look at it from every scope. You have to, for me, I want to study Buddhism, not because I want to practice it, because I want to know what it is. I study different things because I want to know about them. I don't study these things because I want to be a part of them. But how can I know what not to like about it if I don't know anything about it? How can I know what to like about it if I don't know anything about it? How can I take the good and the bad from what's given to me if I've never cracked a book on it? So we have to start not being afraid to I guess be smart again. It's okay to be intellectual, because you can be cool and intellectual and all these different things at the same time. That's another point I want to get out, and I know I said I was done, but it's okay to be multiple things. You can have a house full of books and listen to trap music and go to parties and do all these different things at the same time. You don't have to be just one type of person or have one side to you. So, but I want to try to get more active, this month, make more videos on more specific topics. So please comment if you like what I have to say. Comment, share. I appreciate the love. I'm not doing this for likes. I'm not doing this for, they look cool. I'm just giving forth what I think people should know, or just challenging people to think. Maybe get your wheels turning, because I may not be right, but I just think I asked the right questions or raised the right questions, and that's what we all should do. But until then, this is Conscious Snoop, Ron Day, whatever you know me as. All right.